Good morning, it's July 27th and pleasant right now, but it's going to 35, so I'm glad I'm getting out here to walk early. The goal today is to walk down College, back along 15th, down along 14th, back along 13th, and then home. So we'll see how that all works out time-wise. Morning. Just a second here, I need to change where I have my wallet. So what happened yesterday? Well, I got a lot of Tangled Stars done. I'll do more today. That's kind of it. I also had a evaluation to do for a company I do some editing for, manuscript evaluations. I did that. Got another one due in a few days, so I got to finish reading that. But Tangled Stars, trying to get that done. It's going pretty well. I'm happy with what I'm reading, I think. See what my editor says when I get it turned in finally. One of the fun things about it is it has this smart aleck, artificially intelligent cat. Who's a cat and says cat-like things, but he's also very, very smart and has access to, vast quantities of data. He's actually my doorway to making pop culture references because he has a fondness for what, from his point of view, is ancient literature and entertainment. And so he can occasionally make comments that the audience will get, readers will get, but the characters in the story don't actually get. So that's fun for me, hopefully for readers. I think I'm going to introduce him in the Shapers of Worlds anthology, volume 2. I'm thinking now, I've been going back and forth on what I wanted to do for my short story, but I'm thinking now it's going to be, oh hi Darla. I'm thinking now it's going to be the short story that introduces how this cat comes to be part of the crew and the rest of the starship eventually. It's a bit complicated, but anyway, he's established at the start of the story. Oh my goodness, sorry about that, I still don't have my lapel mic. It's on its way, the replacement. Hopefully I can catch this crosswalk just right. Perfect. Well, I don't actually have a walk light, but I can cross. We'll go across over there to the other side. We're going to walk down College on that side, and then back along 15th, and the other way on 14th, and back on 13th. That's the plan. Hopefully that works out about right, time-wise. We'll walk through the flowers by the Royal Saskatchewan Museum. Anyway, so my short story for the Shapers of Worlds anthology, volume 2, which I successfully kickstarted earlier this year, which features short stories by authors who were guests during the second year of my Aurora award-winning podcast, The World Shakers. Will be a story that, for me, will be a story that ties into my upcoming novel. There's a story just waiting there to be told, and this will be my opportunity to do so. Let's take a walk down to the Royal Saskatchewan Museum here. There's the siding. The flowers were being put in, I think, the last time I came this way, so it's been a while since I walked along here. These trees have gotten bigger over the years, as they do. And I don't know why a truck just drove through there, but anyway. If you go, I guess, to the middle here, then you get the proper effect. That could be my thumbnail for today's walk. I haven't been in for a while. Well, of course they were closed for a while. Looks like the facade needs a good cleaning. Getting a little dingy. I don't know if you can see it in the light. Well, yeah, you can. So it has imagery on the walls as well. And up at the top, see animals galloping and flying along the... looking into the sun, unfortunately. It's the Royal Saskatchewan Museum. This little sideline, we're going to go back around to the sidewalk here. I don't think this grass is wet, so we'll take a little shortcut. It'll be wet over there. I don't think they've watered quite here. It's not yet. At least not recently. And back on College. Heading east, as you can probably tell from the sun. Some green grass. Oh, some sort of joggers or something over there in the grass. I don't know who that is. There's a fence over there. That's the staging area for the work that's being done to build a new Wascana pool. They tore out the old one. Where my daughter used to swim occasionally, coming over from school or daycare. And I've never been in it. Not much of a swimmer. And they're building a brand new one. Very exciting. For those who like to swim. It's just I was never very good at it. As a kid I liked it, you know, always loved to go to the pool. As I got older, I get bored. Okay, I'm wet. Now what? Give me something to read. It's kind of my reaction to swimming pools. On the previous walk over here, saw them putting in these concrete planters. Didn't know they were planters. They are. I thought they may be putting in a sign, but it was a planter on both sides. It's a very wet morning to walk with the sprinklers going. We'll get on, walk right by the building down here. So this is the credit union central here. It's Still haven't been in it. You can see me if you look at it. There I am. Go even closer to the glass to avoid the sprinklers here. Hi, Roger. Well, you can see me walking towards you in the reflection. So this is the lobby, the new lobby for Dark Hall. Kind of a joint lobby space. And then, don't know if we can see inside it or not, but if I get close enough, I might be able to. There we go. Elevators to the left. So once things start happening in the renovated Dark Hall again, that's where the lobby action will be. And you can see they're even working on landscaping at this point. That's how far along they've gotten. Can't wait to see it. There's some videos on YouTube. That's Dark Hall. Completely renovated inside and out over the last few years. And they're doing some really nice landscaping in between here. That's what they're working on now. And this is the college building. You know, I might be able to walk through it. I should be able to just pass through it into the back. Shall we take a chance, see if we can do that? Oh, who joined me there? Hi, Miriam. I don't think I'll do that yet. I don't really want to be on that side of the building today. Anyway, this is the college building. Part of the University of Regina. It was the original building of Regina College when it first started. What they call collegiate Gothic style. And it was recently renovated. Among other things, it has elevators now. Very useful. Although, still have to take the stairs to get up to the top of the tower there, I think. All right, we'll just continue along College now. College gardens over there, condos, are nice. Central Collegiate used to be on that block, and we have a condo behind that one. Next complex that was built. College building again. I'll take another little detour down here to walk in front of the soundstage. Production studios, I guess they call it. Actually, the front part here behind the old facade, it's brand new inside, but the facade was saved of what was another college building. And actually it was a teacher's college at one point. And it was also used for training during the war, I think. There's a number of offices in there, including Creative Saskatchewan, which is the granting organization for artistic endeavors. And Sask Books, the Publishers Association that I'm now on the board of, has its offices in here. Sympia, the Saskatchewan Multimedia Production Industry Association. It used to be Movie Production Industry Association. I think it stands for multimedia, or media anyway. Now, they're all in this building. So again, that's the old facade. But there's nothing left of the old building inside. It's completely gutted. And then behind this is the actual soundstage space, where a few things have been shot over the years. Corner Gas is probably the most famous TV series that was ever shot here. at least in the entryway, is still the old building. The main entrance there, but everything else is new. Okay, now we're just going to go up a block to the north and walk back that same distance again on 15th. Rinse and repeat. Going down 13th will be the one that takes us home. This is the most scenic part probably, but we'll see. I've of course walked in the center block area here more than once, but I did it zigzagging north and south. This time we're going to zigzag east and west. Completely different. Ooh, look, prime mosquito breeding territory. Could call it a wildlife preserve, I guess. They're just living their lives. These annoying little bloodsuckers. Looking up Broad there. Apartment building. I like the one on that corner with the kind of Spanish look to it. So left turn signal before I will get my crosswalk light here. That's our signal. Broad Street here. I guess it is a broad street. There used to be a coffee shop in here, but that was a long time ago. I guess at one point it was a private home. Always liked the stone walls. And it's a FedEx depot as well. Over there's the sort of Spanish-looking apartment building. This one coming up here is a brand new condo building. Just built a few years ago, so not brand new, I guess, but pretty new. A lot of these, what look like houses along here, are actually businesses. Look over there. Old apartment building here. Suke's Villa. And there's businesses here in the bottom of this building too. We'll go up on the walkway just to be different. There used to be an art gallery down here, but it didn't stay here very long. Which is why it now says for lease. But there's a bubble tea place here that I've been in a few times. Okay, now we will go. When I mentioned before, that over there started as a really nice coffee shop, but then it failed and turned into doctor's offices. Okay, now we will walk along 15th back to Albert. These, I remember these as being new, but I guess they've been here many years now. Condos, I think. Might be rentals, I don't know for sure. It's quite a large complex. They have the look of condos, insofar as such things have a look. Kirk in Vancouver. Well, we got India and Vancouver and what? Moose Jaw, Regina represented here this morning. I've never been in that apartment building. They have tennis courts here on this end of it, on that raised level there. At least I think there's tennis courts there. My daughter will be moving into an apartment in Toronto next month before university classes start. She has a balcony. She's very happy about that. Just off of Bloor Street. Very close to the Spadina station, and of course the University of Toronto is basically across the street, so it's quite a good location for them. She's staying, we'll be living with two friends. This is the Hamilton side of the condo complex where Central Fleet used to be. There's now 3 condo buildings there. Over here is Central Park. We'll take a little detour into it. With the lovely garden here. You can really smell the flowers. And then that building there is the one that has the condo in it that we lived in when we were first married. Those trees were tiny back in 1997 when the building was built. Gone up a lot since then. Over here's the Prince Charles. I don't think he's ever lived there though. There used to be a restaurant here, and then they were going to build a condo there, and it never happened. So right now it's just an empty lot, which is kind of unfortunate. So looking downtown in that direction. Oh! Failed to look down again. Stepped in a hole. More apartments. That was a house for a long time when we first moved in this neighborhood. It turned into a business eventually. This is sometimes called the transition area because residential area becoming more commercial, but it's been transitioning for a long time. Downtown has never really spread. Checking my time here. Should work pretty good. Sort of, once you notice it, you can't not see it. These trees over the years have basically been bifurcated like that, very unnaturally, because they have power lines going right down the middle of them. So they cut off anything that encroaches on the power lines. And as a result, you get this weird split tree look along here and other places. Looks like it's been struck by lightning. And I suppose it does have power flowing down the middle, but it's not lightning. I mentioned before, this is a very old house. You can see it says it's a medical office. So I presume it still is. Or else the sign is just really, really old. It's never been taken off and something else is in there now. I really don't know. Fireside Bistro over there. Pretty nice restaurant. It's a good deck. Mentioned before, I kind of like the timbered look, but I hate this awning. It looks like a pig's snout sticking up from the side of the building. See, more split trees. Apartments, now renting if you're looking for a place. Probably an Olympics fan, maybe. Or just a Canada fan, I guess. Yeah, look, that alley looks straight down at City Hall. Down at the end there. House is a chiropractor's. I think that's the house that used to be. I remembered it because it sold Smith Corona typewriter stuff, or looked after, serviced them or something. And the typewriter, my first typewriter was one that my parents had gotten. Oh, maybe when I was born or sooner. It's quite old. Little portable, Smith Corona. I wrote a lot of stuff on that little Smith Corona. It was very simple. But it got to the point it was hard to find ribbons, and I just had this faint idea that we might have bought ribbons for it in there once, if that's the house I'm thinking of. I love that little typewriter. I don't even know what happened to it. It was very simple. If it broke, I knew how to fix it. It had these little, you know, the keys were just simple levers. And occasionally there was one that would sort of come undone. And I knew how to reach inside and fix it, so it was what took me through university. I wrote all of my university papers on that typewriter. There must still be somewhere in my memorabilia manuscripts that were written on that thing. And then for a birthday present, right after I graduated, or maybe it was kind of a graduation present, I don't know. My parents bought me an electric typewriter. Ooh, that was great. I wrote a lot on it. All my first novels would have been written on that. Because I didn't move into the world of word processing till the Commodore 64 came along, sometime in the 80s. I got one of those. And then I started writing on it using a program called Paperclip, which was a great little mini word processor. At least I thought it was great. It did not have, like, the text just wrapped at the end. It didn't make nice, neat, right lines. It would just go around whether you're in the middle of the word or not. And it had, I believe, 499 lines of text, which worked out to about 10 pages of manuscript in proper manuscript format. And because of that, for several years, all my chapters were 10 pages long because I started aiming for that 499 lines. Of course, my first printer was just a dot matrix, and editors would not accept dot matrix printouts because they were too hard to read. So I either had to type the final version, or eventually I got a daisy wheel printer. Still have that in the basement, I think. So it made really nice, professional looking manuscripts, and you could even do carbon copies on it. And it certainly printed faster than I could type, even though I'm a pretty fast typist. But you had to sit there and feed each piece of paper in separately with the carbon. If you're doing carbon. So it was eating in that little restaurant, Shanghai Deli. It's like eating in someone's living room. So I don't know how long I had that. And then eventually I got my first laser printer at the same time I got my first PC. I think when I went freelance in 1993 and quit my job. And I think that first laser printer cost me over $2,000. They don't cost that anymore. Thank goodness. Now they practically give away printers. I think they make their money on the toner and the ink. This is Henry's here, Henry Ripplinger's gallery and gift store and restaurant. Old apartment building over there. Coming up to Lawrence Street, so there's Lauren Drugs on that corner. And then we'll walk by Tangerine over here, which is a nice coffee shop and restaurant. Not one I like to ride in. I don't know why. Never have. Maybe it's just the seating isn't comfortable for what I need it for. There used to be an indoor archery range over here under this building. I don't know if it's still there or not. There's Tangerine. And there's a organic grocery store here. Another old apartment building over there. That garbage truck seems to be following me around. Offices in that building. Now at that end you can see the cenotaph in the middle of Victoria Park that I walked by on Saturday. I had two Commodore 64s, I think. One quit, got another one. Then I moved up to a Commodore 128. Twice as much memory. Also had what to me were completely useless operating systems, CPM. Probably could have gotten a better word processor in CPM, but I stuck with the paperclip. And then I got my first PC, Windows 3.1. And I went Windows for a long time, but a few years ago, we switched to Mac everything. So both my desktop and my laptop are Macs. And I'm on my third MacBook, I think. Fourth, maybe. No, my third. Another old building. That used to be a Japanese restaurant. As you can tell from the decor, it is not anymore. It's called the Chuck Wagon. Haven't been in there. They obviously sell ice cream because there's an ice cream cone on the outside. Their old apartment building. I like the pillars. Touch of elegance. Shoppers Drug Mart on that corner. Open 24 hours. When you really, really need something at 3:45 in the morning. I think it's a 24-hour one. Oh, and there's the Abstractions Cafe that I mentioned before as the basis of the human being in Twist of the Blade, I think. Second, or was it even in Song of the Sword? I think it was in Song of the Sword. First, oh, it's not a 24-hour, it's only open till midnight. Okay. So if you need something at 3:45, don't come here. Song of the Sword is the first book in my Shards of Excalibur adult fantasy series. Alrighty, one more block up Broad, and then we'll head out on 13th, and that'll take us home. Take me home, won't take you anywhere. Not the most exciting block. Used to be a computer store in there, if I remember right. A long time ago, back in my Commodore 64 days, in fact. It's an Ethiopian restaurant over there. And on the corner is Seoul Mart, which is the Korean grocery store. Saddam there is Ethiopian. There's a cafe open bakery over there I didn't even know existed. We'll call Oi. Huh. Alrighty. Turning the corner for home. Down 13th now. Just one block south of Victoria Avenue. So downtown is right over there. There's the Avard Tower, the white one, which I always associate with my optometrist, though he hasn't been there for years, because he used to be on the top floor. So when you got new glasses, you could look out, really test them out on the surrounding prairie. And then the SAS Power building, wrapped on this side as well as they continue working on it. That's a fairly new condo building there. Here's Rose Street. I like the looks of the front of this building. It's very shady and just looks nice. Never been in there though, I don't think. So that's the SAS Power building, backside, all wrapped in scaffolding. I don't know what they're doing up here on 13th either, but they're clearly digging a hole. One of our more urban looking alleys. Old apartment building here, but there's always seemed to be, oh, there's a cat. You see him in the window there, looking at me. It's always seemed to be a nice building, but I've never been in it. It's just the grounds make it look like it's well taken care of. And this is Hamilton. So there's the Hotel Saskatchewan. Blessed Sacrament Church just between us and that. Sung in there many times. We used to record, University of Regina Chamber Singers used to record CDs in there when I was part of it. And that's the back of the Hotel Saskatchewan. If you want to stay in the Royal Suite, it's up there towards the top. Not in that sticky up part of the top. I think it would be in the next floor. And here's a hole in the ground. Twin Towers, or one of the Twin Towers in there. This at one time was the offices of Morris Shumiatcher, the famed Regina lawyer, Haldane House. I've been in there after he was already gone, I believe, but only once, I think, for some sort of reception. Back of the Hotel Saskatchewan again. Nice power. Downtown. So Albert Street will be up there where the credit union building is, the roundish one down at the end. We'll go across that on 13th this time, and that'll take us back into my usual haunts. Salvation Army on that corner. Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists of Saskatchewan used to be in this building. They're out in Harbour Landing now. But when I wrote their history book, they were in this building. So I had a few meetings in there. And they had stacks of my book in there at one point too. Salvation Army. Maybe this was the one that had, oh it is. Actually this is the house, because it still says National Business Machine, Smith and Corona Merchant. Right on it. Okay, it wasn't that other house at all, it was this one. I should go in and see if he has my old typewriter or some version of it. Can you still get ribbons for a Smith and Corona portable from probably the 50s? I would tend to think not, or it's made by hand by some guy that's really found a niche, I guess. It used to be the YMCA. It used to be where I went weightlifting 3 times a week, but that was pre-pandemic. And now I've lost everything I had built up from months of regular lifting, a couple of years of regular lifting. However, I'm walking more instead, so, you know, I guess it works out. I got somebody coming down the street. taking up the entire sidewalk. So that was the YMCA. There's still a daycare in there. That was Alice's daycare at one point too. She started kindergarten. I have a picture of her getting on the bus from right here, heading off to her first day of kindergarten, because she was in daycare and it was a half day of kindergarten. So they'd start here and then they'd put them on the bus and they'd go off to school. Then later we switched her to the Dragon's Den, which was a kind of an after-school care place. At Davin School. And then she got where she could just come home. So this is number 1 fire hall. Here. And the credit union central over here. Or credit union, some credit union. Oh look, you can really see the fire engines this morning. We will cross here. Keep on down 13th for a couple of blocks. I've been along here many times. House is just over that way. How long have I been out? 47 minutes? It'll be pretty close to my usual time. Thought it would be. I'm getting pretty good at judging distances for these walks. Of course, if I walk down the other side of Albert, we can go by the cat cafe and see if there's any cats in there. Maybe we'll do that. Just waiting. Long light this time of the day to allow for heavier traffic on Albert, I guess. Why didn't I get a crosswalk light? Certainly asked for it. Guess they give him a left turn signal first. Must not have taken for some reason. Normally you get the crosswalk light first, so I must not have hit the button right or it didn't work. Strip mall here. Royal Square, they call it, and I don't believe a royal has ever visited it. Karaoke over there. I like karaoke. I'm good at it, but I've never been in there. I don't know that I like it. I'm good at it because I can sing. A lot of people who do karaoke can't really sing. You may have noticed that. Supposedly, Canada's best vodka is made right here. That's what it says. All vodka tastes alike to me pretty well. This is Nouveau Gallery. Oh, we do have cats in the window. One anyway. Hello there. Yeah. He's handsome. This is Excalibur Cat Cafe. Well, I'm glad I came this way then. It's always worth seeing a cat. There's two I've seen on this walk, both in windows. I'll leave Broad here and go down to the next one, Angus. Well, this isn't Angus. This is 14th, but Angus is the next road over. There's First Presbyterian, where we got married, coming up on 24 years ago. Guess we're not newlyweds anymore. Feels like we ought to be, but feels like we should be. We're still new parents too, and she's 20, so I guess that's not true anymore either. This is a bed and breakfast over there with the dragon sculpture in front of it, called the Dragon's Nest. I wonder if they would have called it Dragon's Den if that wasn't already the name of the daycare at Davin School. Kind of a cool sculpture though, and the gate has a dragon on it as well. I've been in there. Very nice. If you like beds and breakfasts. Sound like a hobbit if I say that. Beds and breakfasts. Second breakfasts. Squirrels chasing each other. Having words. Going around the tree, it sounds like I can still hear them. Very uneven sidewalk on this side. Work our way over to Italic and home. Another 5 minutes or so, we should be there. Over to Ray, because I don't walk down this piece of Ray very often. So this is a little different than some walks. This isn't Ray, this is 15. The next cross street is Ray. Full of color. I guess it's no. It's made up into apartments. It's not a single house. Probably was at one point. Okay, we'll go down Ray here. This house is for sale if you're looking to live in my neighborhood. That one has an interesting roof line. New one tucked in among the older ones. And an apartment building tucked in over here too. Much bigger one over here. It's been here a long time. I've been in there and I used it as the model for an apartment building in a book I have not yet found a home for, a middle grade fantasy called Fireboy. It'll get published eventually because I'll do it myself if I can't find a home for it, but it's currently being looked at by a publisher. More than one, actually, now that I think about it. And we're coming up then on, that's quite a nice big one there, coming up on the Davin School here, which fronts onto Retallick, which takes us to the corner of Retallick and Angus, which is pretty close to where we live. So looking down College Avenue, they're moving something into Davin over there. Not sure what. Dragon's Den used to be on this corner, so I presume it still is, which was the daycare I was talking about. And here's the front of the school. And here since 26, I think, basically the same year. 20 or 26? I'm trying to read the number up there. Anyway, it was built just about the same time as our house was. And by the same architect. Portnoy. I can't tell. I think it's 26. I should know off the top of my head. I always say 26. Anyway, coming up on 100 years old. Not quite there yet. Unless it's 20, in which case it is. They seem to be putting in a new sidewalk too. I like the ivy. Don't know what it's doing to the bricks, but it looks cool. Alice was there for 8 years. 8 years sounded like a long time when she started, and now it's already 6 years ago. And I don't like the way time moves as you get older. The speed with which it passes. Even though I know intellectually it passes at the same rate. We perceive it as passing along faster. Sometimes I feel like I just moved to Regina, and that was 33 years ago now. A third of a century. That's a terrible way to put it, but all right, I'll stop at this intersection up here. Pretty darn close to the time I usually look to walk, so worked out well. Not our house, but a very nice one. Nicer than ours, actually. Bigger, anyway. Alrighty, well, that concludes that. So if you watched it live, thank you very much, if you're still there. And if you watched the recording, thank you very much. And I'll be back tomorrow. Bye for now.